Hey guys, we had a technical issues just now with the old broadcasting, so I had to create a new one. I hope traders find this new broadcasting right now going on live because the old one is finished. We had to create a new stream here, so I hope you guys can find this one and get in immediately. Let's see. The new link should be available here very quick. It's already live streaming. Let me get a shareable link and pass it over to everyone. Okay, I don't know how many of you are getting this live session, but let me just see if we can get a maximum people in the room. No, go out now. Okay, we're having some technical issues here. I hope I'm live. I don't know how many minutes we're going to be blank before all the traders get the new one. So I would just wait a few seconds and see how many traders come on. Okay, somebody said they can see and hear me in the new one, so that's great. Can everybody put a Y if you're in the room? So make sure, I want to see how many people in the room. I can't see the live count. Okay, I'm pretty clear that you guys can see and hear me now. Okay, my apologies for that technical issues that happened. Something happened in the previous scheduled broadcast, so we're going to go ahead with this one. All right, thank you very much. Good morning, traders. Welcome to the daily webinar and to the London session. We're going to go through everything that we have here. 1 second, guys. One second, guys. Yep, just 1 second. My son just keep running in the room. Today is like a bad day to start. Everything is going wrong. Okay, give me 1 second. We'll get everything going. Yeah. Sorry about that. My apologies. We get going. I think we've got most of the traders coming back, so let's start. I will go through some of the trades we had yesterday, and then we're going to go through trades, everything for trades today. So let's start with the euro. The euro yesterday, remember when we had it here, it was making this consolidation. So like I said, there's a possibility it could go lower. We can't sell it because we don't know for a fact what the pattern is going to be when it breaks this low. So we can buy a pattern like this to the upside, which means we expect this to go up, then come down, and then go. Now, if it doesn't go up and it's going to go down more, what you would expect is that when it breaks this low, it has to make a flag. We don't have a flag, but we are getting a running flat here now. And the problem with this running flat is that this might just come to about this level and still go back up. Because you have 1, 2. And if you keep making flats in this one here, what you're going to find is this will become what we call the core correction. So if this becomes the core correction, and what we're going to have is that this goes up back for another impulse. You make a flat here, come back here, and then go. I think you've all seen patterns like this. You really don't have to look far for a version of this. A smaller version of that is right here. Right? When you start to get more corrections in one of the moves, that one becomes the core correction. So right now there's an up move happening. We don't have a buy set up. This would likely be a running flat. I think we're going to drop one more. I am not going to sell that. Again, there is no big move to the downside to sell it. Because in these two moves, you definitely have to create a pattern here. So there's no point in trying to get that move. It's pretty useless. Put it that way. So we'll go on with the Aussie. The Aussie trade, you would see the value of why we closed the trade yesterday. So remember this trade when we took it, we closed it in here. And we were in the room in the London when this dropped. And I said, when this drop here, unless we get a flag under this low, we're not selling. Well, we didn't only get a flag, we actually got a flat. So now they've made a new flat. And once you have a new flat like this, you're getting a sell setup. So there's a flag forming here. That's a possible sell setup. Now, you have to be aware of what the bigger structure is doing when you're trying to sell this. So I'm going to go to the bigger structure and kind of give you a quick review of what we're looking at. This is the bigger structure, right? So we're in this move. We've got to move up. We've got a 1, 2, 3 down. We never broke out. We broke out of this, but we didn't get to the top. So there is a possibility that this deep pullback could still go to the top. Remember, look, this had a deep pullback here. It had a deep pullback here, and it still went up. So it's a possibility that this goes up if we assume that that was all the flat. If for whatever reason this is going to work its way down here, and we can go into that, but that's part of what we do in the course where I would explain why these patterns behave like that. If it's going to come to the bottom here, then we will go with a sell to come here and then still up, because the up is still going to happen. So when you're selling this, you have to bear that in mind, that this at any point in time will stop and go back up. Once we get to this level, the sell would be, and this is why I will tell you to take the sell, and this is how we're going to manage the trade. So if you get an entry under the low, it has to be under the low. If you get an entry under the low here, and this actually drops like this, once it breaks this low here, it probably would go just a little more. You have to get this to break even. Now the point is, if this dropped quite a lot, we will take profit because the stop is here. Entry here, stop there, we're going to take profit. If for whatever reason it just does this and break this low and start to pull back, you got to close that trade. Don't think twice, close the trade. Because there's a very good chance it starts to go back really big and we'll be looking for the buy setup instead of the sell. So this could be the very last impulse to the downside in this trade. So we'll take out this one. As we're going through them, I'll remove them. This is still a sell setup. It's still an aggressive sell. New Zealand dollar, you can go for the sell. This one actually did make a flat. Remember yesterday I told you I closed the trade here. My trade closed there. It went a little lower. We can't sell it until we get a flat. Well, now we have a flat. And we're also getting a flag here. So that means we can sell this. And this one has the same problem as the Aussie dollar. We're in a big consolidation here. And if you look at the way this consolidation went, there is a chance that this here becomes a consolidation for upside, or there is a chance it crawls down to the bottom here and then take off like a rocket. If we come to the bottom here again, I would make the assumption that the pattern is completed. So the pattern we're looking at is this. We have 1, you can actually put this as the 2 and that as the 3. We'll come back to the expanding flat possibility in the middle. That's 1. You have 1, 2, 3. If we look at this up move here as a complete pattern piece, then we have 1, 2, 3. We're looking for 1, 2, 3. That is for the downside. Once this is complete, we're going up. So once we complete that piece, we're looking for total upside. That's one possibility. The second possibility is that this actually goes up back to the top and then come here before they go. Because this could be a 3-wave structure. We do have a 3-wave structure. If you notice, there's a big flat here. So it kind of made 1, 2, 3, broke the top there and then dropped. See? That is the top of the whole structure right now. So the question is, well, will it come here or will it go there? You don't have to know the answer. You just wait for the structure and the patterns and then you sell. Yesterday we couldn't sell this piece. Today we can sell it. We have a flat. That flat confirms one more impulse to the downside. When you go into 15, you have a flag inside of it, which is not quite good because we broke the low. See this here? We broke the low. Breaking the low means a total completion of the downside. That's one possibility. Or just a little correction here for downside. So we can put an entry order here And that's a pretty safe entry order, because if we go back and break the low, if we break the low a second time, we probably will go a little lower. If we're not breaking that low second time, this has to go up. Above this top, any flag, we will buy. We're not buying anything in here. Above the top, any flag, we're buying. So right now, you can put a sell setup here, and it's a valid sell. It's something we can manage our way out should it not go very far. Yen, by the way, we didn't put the entry order in, but you could have put the entry order in. We spoke about it, that if you want to buy this, you can buy it. Like I said, I'm not very keen in buying the yen. They're not going very far, and we're making a channel at the top. Even this morning in the trading, I told my traders you can buy this, but it's probably just going to go there and start to come back down again. Right? You see, they make consolidation, make another consolidation, go, make another consolidation, go, make another one, go. And when you start to do this, you're looking for the downside. When it starts a channel like that, but you can still buy it. It's still an uptrend, and it's still possibly going to go. Swiss. So the Swiss trade, we're looking for the buy setup because we were expecting this. We were looking for the sell yesterday when we thought this was going to drop. It did drop. We didn't put the sell on. We took off the sell because we figured out that it's consolidating. And if it's consolidating and you took the sell, you would have closed it for break even. So the sell we had yesterday was like this. Let me just show you the pattern. We had it, I think, was this piece. Before this piece happened, we had it somewhere in here. But even if you go with this and you try to sell anywhere on the way down here, it would have to be either under the low or with a flag here. Neither happened. And if you got in the trade, you closed it. Now it turns out we're getting a bigger flat for the upside. So once you see this, the depth of this pullback will tell you you're making a flat to the upside. There's one more possible trade to the upside, that is this one. Break that top, and then we're looking for the sell. So even if this had come down lower here, it would have broken this low and then go right back up and then come down, because now we're getting a complete flat pattern here. See? So go back, watch the first webinar, and I explained this pattern. And the very first day, in the very first webinar we did, that was yesterday morning. So go back and watch it. We expect this to come here, complete this pattern here, and then drop. You're looking for a move down like that, and we're expecting to break this low. So if you don't get the buy, not a big deal. Make sure you don't miss the sell. These are the big drops that are going to happen. So we're trying to work our way back to the top. There's a good chance this is going to pull back a little here. Pull back a little here. We're going to get this. Probably go back there and then drop. That's all. So if we get this trade today, we'll take it. We have to get it from the bottom here, because by the time you break that up, you have to get it to break even or take profit. So if we can get a trade that will go this, we'll take the trade. If not, we're going to leave it. So this, we'll take that out for now. CAD, we didn't have anything. And remember I said if you bought this, that was in the morning we bought it, not in the afternoon. If you bought that in yesterday morning, you would have closed it somewhere here. And now you're getting it flat. I warn you that after this goes there, it will have to make a 1 hour consolidation. So those who missed it, don't worry. It's going to make a 1 hour consolidation. It's going to come back here. And then we're looking for the buy. So once this come back to this area here, we're looking for the buy setup. Let's go look at it now. 15. You just want this to pull back to the low because we have got an impulse here. We've got a 1, 2, 3 there. We need it to come back here, and then we're looking for the buy. I don't know whether this would be a good sell, or if you can even get the sell, or whether it's worth taking the sell. I would probably not do that. I would let it drop. So once it dropped to this area here, we look for the buy setup. I'll take this out. That was yesterday's buy. I hope you took some profit out of that. Close that trade. Wait for this to come back here. I don't think the sell is a good idea, and we don't have any sell set up on it. But then we'll be looking for that buy. So we'll have an entry order here, but we'll wait for a flag at this level to take it. That would be the trade. Let's go. Euro-Aus. Okay, Euro-Aus going sideways. You can, I don't know if any of my trader got into this buy. It's a little aggressive, but if you got into it, we're expecting it to come here. It's probably going to come back down. This is sharp. This is sharp. This is sharp. They're all very sharp. So when you get all of that like that, you're looking for the one that could be the core. And there's a good chance that when we get there, we would either look at this as a 1, 2, 3, or we look at this as a 1, 2, 3. The difference in that is where we put these two. So if you start from this one, 1, 2, 3, you're going to go 1 up, 1 down, and then we go out of the structure. If you start from there, if you start from this one here, 1, 2, 3, then we have 1 down, 1 up, 1 more down, and then we go out of the structure. So The only question you have is how many up and down we have in this before we go. Look for a buy setup. I'll put a line like this. And if you think it's going to take off like a rocket, you can look for a buy from above the top. That's one option. The second option is trying to get a flag here to buy. So if this stops here and make a flag here to go up, we'll take the trade. Now this looks like a flag of itself. So if this is to drop one more, I will ignore the sell. If it drops one more, I'll ignore the sell because we still have to go back up. And then we can consider the sell, right? So right now, I think this is going to go up. We're probably going to break the top. We could come back all the way to this top here too. So any flag we get, we'll take for a buy setup. When it gets to the top, put it to break even. We get a flag, we'll put the trade on today. So we're making a pattern like this. Well, slightly different, but that's the idea. This has a lot to go to the upside. So we're trying to come and break that top. So from this one here, we told you they're going to go break the top. We're still going to break the top. So we're looking for buy setups. Let that finish what it's doing, and then we go for the buy. Euro CAD, you were supposed to look for a sell setup yesterday. That is from here. Well, we actually have a sell. This could be an active trade now. I'll put it as a sell setup right now. Is an active sell. This morning we were in the trading room. We wanted it to go back up because we were at the bottom here. Now it's up there. So you can put an entry order on this trade. Go with an entry order for the sell. Stop above here, entry order there. We're expecting it to break down. So we got 1. We got 2. We're here for the 3. If this stays as a flat, we're selling. And it has to stay right where it is, which means it has to start coming down now. If it goes anywhere higher, we're going to take it off. If this for any reason come higher into this, and I think we have 2 or 3 trades where we had the entry order in and they went higher. We took them off. We'll show you those because this is going to come back here and then we're going to look for a buy setup for one more up and then down. It could still go higher and then come down. So right now, if it drops, this is the trade. Sell setup. Euro pound, sell setup. We actually have this as an active trade already, and I expect this to come down here. This one we took this morning, we're looking at that flag, so if we get that flag, drop here, go back up. So this is a sell setup. Stop above this stop here. Pangos, sell setup. So yesterday it was a sell from this point. That was a sell there yesterday from this point. If you close the trade here or you close it here, that's okay. You did well. If you didn't, you want to close it here now. Now, we get a pullback here and we're getting a flat here. That means this is a sell. But be aware that this could happen anytime. So this could drop, you get another flag, it drop, you get another flag, it drop, you get a pullback like that, you get a running flat, and then it could go. Or it could pull back immediately, make this running flat, and then drop. We're expecting more downside in this. Big picture, go down some more. We broke the top here, right? So this could go deeper. It could make a bigger consolidation before they go. So let's go back to the 1 hour. You can put an entry order. I'll take this off now. We'll put an entry order here for the sell. Put an entry order there for the sell. That's a sell setup. Put a stop above this stop here. And if you get a running flat, above this stop should be safe. Which means if this drop here and pull back like this for a running flat, that should be safe. So above that, we don't know what it's doing. You have to get out of the trade. So this is still a sell setup. Pound Swiss, we had a flag for a sell. That was yesterday's, this flag. If you took that one, you should have closed it and put an entry there. And if you did that, you got a good trade. You closed it somewhere here. We still have more downside. We're getting a flat here now, which is good because that's a sell setup. So how do we sell that? I think I'll take this off now. We can put an entry here. But better yet, if on the way down, if we get a flag here, we'll sell the flag. A small flag like that, if we get it, we'll sell it. But that's a sell setup. And we'll see where that takes us. Right? At least one more drop, maybe to this level, maybe even higher. We're looking for this pattern. We're looking for this move down right now. This move. Right? We've got a 1, 2, 3. And we're expecting this to come here. Maybe we get it to this piece. You get another consolidation. It drops here. You see there's a pullback. There's a pullback in this one. And then we're expecting this to complete itself and go up. Right? Okay, good. So for those who just came in, I'm not going through the entire list. We're going through the trades we had yesterday first. Right? So when we go through the trades we have, then we're going to go through everything else. Okay? If you join late, just sit and follow what we do, and you will see how we go through everything. So we're going through the trades. This is what we do in our trading room. And this is the huge difference you're going to get from any other trading room you're going to get anywhere, is that we account for every trade we take. If we said this is a trade setup, it's a setup. Once a trade is active, we're going to tell you what we do with it step by step. Most trading rooms don't give you that. As a matter of fact, most trainers don't give you anything except the fact that they'll give you some videos, which are useless. So just relax, watch what we do, and you'll learn something, basically. So this one, actually, we were waiting for this to form, and now I think you've got the flat. Look for a sell setup. This is a good flat. This is a good flat, and we're looking for a sell setup here. Wait for this to come back, give you a flag on the sell side, and go with the trade. All right? Well, if you were pretty sure that DXY is going to 105, good. That's a good thing. See, we're not sure until we get a pattern. It's already going up, so we'll come to that just now. Aussie Swiss. Aussie Swiss is making... Now, Aussie Swiss yesterday, just to remind you of this trade. Remember the first trade we had was this. And remember when you started, I told you one thing. The number one thing you're going to learn to be successful is how you manage your trades, trade management. That's something I implemented some 2 years ago. No traders have ever done that. I still don't hear people talk. A few of them are talking about it now, the ones who are still in my group and still selling you signals and selling you think they're talking about trade management. But that is because I created that whole idea of the trade management, because what I realized retail traders were doing were actually living with trades they should have got out of a long time ago. So we implemented trade management. Close the trade, put your entry above the top. If you missed it yesterday, watch yesterday's webinar. If you missed any of those webinars, you should go back and watch them to the end. And you should watch them completely, because even if it's not something you trade, it's something you're going to learn from. Right? You may not be trading this, but you would learn how to trade what you trade by looking at the way we manage these trades. So we close, we re-enter the top. Why? Because if it's still going to go, we will be in the trade. But if it comes back to the low, you're not going to be in the trade. And that is what it exactly did. It came back to the low. Now that we're at the low, two ways you can look at this. Either this thing is the absolute low and we are going up, or this is making a flat and we're going to go down. One more and then go back up. So since we're at the bottom of a structure like this, and the chances of this going back up is pretty high, every buy setup you get, you will take. So we come back here, and there is a buy setup again. You look at this piece on the 15 here. It literally just made a running flat. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to repeat the process. We'll put this entry order here, and we will repeat the process. If you break out and you don't go, we close the trade. If it does go, you stay with the trade. So I'm going to put this here as a flat. And because we broke the low, we're going to go with this buy. Put your stop here. This could be a contracting flat here. There's a good chance this here is a contracting flat. This is the end that you're going up. I don't like to forecast contracting flat, so we're going to take this out for now. And we're going to keep our eyes on a possible expanding flat. Which means prove to me this is not an expanding flat and you're literally going up. Because if it just breaks this stop and go down, we will definitely close the trade. Alright, so let's go. Aussie yen. Aussie yen, we expect it to go up. We're in this corrective structure, like I said. And it's still dropping. We drop, we made a correction, drop, made a correction, drop. We're making another correction. This did turn out to be a correction. If you bought this, it's only to retest this stop. Right? Once it retests this stop here, look for a sell setup. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to look for a sell setup to come and break the low again. And then from this point, two things are going to happen. It's either going to go back up, or you're going to break through this structure completely. And this one is important. Because if they break through this structure, if the next move drops and stop here, you want to break, you want to reach this stop, and then you're looking for this move down. And from this point, we're either going to go up or we're going to break through this structure. If you break through that structure, you stay with this trade. This should go up a little more here and then do that. If we break through that structure, we stay with the trade. It will consolidate and we'll keep selling. If it turns there, go back up, we wait for a flag and we buy for an upside. And very likely we're going to come back to retest this stop. So this would be the final drop on this one to tell us which direction it's going. Let's see if we get it. Wait for it to go up. It's a running flat, I think, or regular. Yeah, it looks like a regular flat, so they'll probably go break the top. Just a regular flat, you want it to come back and break this top and then look for the sell. If you're already in the buy, good for you. Keep it a little more and then you'll exit the trade. So those are the trade. I'll take this off because that doesn't have a trade right now in it, right? Aussie Swiss, we're still looking for the buy. We're actively in the buy now. And Aussie CAD, the Aussie CAD one, we'll take it off. We're not doing anything with that. So we think this is most likely a flat for downside, which means Aussie Swiss might also be an expanding flat for downside, but we'll still take the trade because it's a manageable trade. We can get out for break even. All right. The next trade we had was a Canadian looking for a buy setup. That didn't happen. Actually, we ended up taking a sell yesterday, and that is a break-even trade. So now we would still wait. We're still in this sideways move here. It's kind of going sideways here now, so I think we stay out of it. Because it's not up, neither is it down. This is a consolidation. Let that finish, and then we'll decide if we want the seller to buy in it. I'll take that off. Swiss yen, we were in the sell yesterday, and I hope you close that because, like I said, if the trade is not, we took this sell. And if this is not going, we close the trade. So you were here, so you had like a lot of time to close that trade because your stop was here. We actually tried to get the buy yesterday, but the buy didn't happen. We're still in this sideways move. I am not sure if we still want to buy. Let me just see what the pattern looks like. Yeah, it's still a sideways move, and I don't think it's completed as yet. Now if you relook at it, I'll relook at it this way. Right? This piece has to go back up and break the top. You have to break this top. We could either do this, come back here, go back there, break the top, give us a flat here, and then come down for this. And if we get this flat, then we get one more up. So for now, unless it comes back, I'll put this line. It is not a buy. This is the top of this move. So I'll put 2 lines so we know that's the top. We want this to get back to the top, and then we'll look for a short-term sell because we're in a big consolidation. So we'll probably look for a consolidation, I don't know, this size, something like this, which means all this up move is finished and we're making a bigger flat. Right? All of this here is finished and we're making a bigger flat here now like this, very similar, right, to this size. And it might come back here. It has to go up to the top, come back down, and then we're going to go again. We'll go with a buy setup again. I don't think we'll put it as any pattern in that as it. These are just separate flats of their own. Correction, up move, correction, up move. So we'll see. Let's wait. We don't have any trade there. I'll take this off. So no trade on that one. Natural gas, you're looking for a... Well, we had a buy and then we changed it to sell. This is the sell setup. We were looking for a buy here. I think we're looking for a buy at this level. And once this do that and drop back, you put a sell here. I'm not sure whether this happened in New York room or in our trading room. I think it's in the New York room. We had this sell set up here for downside. So you would have to check yesterday webinar for that. We're coming back to retest this low. By the way, the trade was only to retest this low. You're lucky it gone a little lower. So now we're going to put this here because we actually broke that top. This one has dropped quite a lot. And when they drop that much, you want to go back and look at the bigger structure. Come on. Okay, you want to look back at the bigger structure to see where we are. In the bigger structure, we're actually doing this. Right? We kind of did 1, 2, 3. We did a drop. We did that. We come here. We're at the top there. You could possibly look at this as a running flat. Maybe one more up. What if it's not a running flat and we're trying to come down back to the bottom here? I think that's possible. So at this point, we'll look at this 2 ways. The possibility for upside and the possibility for downside. It has to consolidate more. We don't have enough consolidation. So if this stays here and consolidate like this, we'll sell it. If it goes up higher and make a flag, we'll buy it. This is a very small flag forming here, so I wouldn't encourage the buy of this as yet. Let's get a bigger flag. I'm gonna do 1 hour, so let's get a bigger flag here and then we look for the buy. There is no sell setup. There's a higher probability for this to go back up. Even if this small one drop like this, it's gonna literally break that low like this, break the low and then go back up. We will probably go for a running flat if that happens to the upside. So wait for this to go up some more, make a flag, and then we consider buy. If it stays here, we'll sell it. That's this afternoon most likely. NASDAQ, we had a sell set up here. I think you remember the first one. This was the first sell, right? When it didn't go, we close it and you re-enter at this point. One, go there, come back, close the trade, put the entry under the low. So I leave this so you can see. So you take that out. And the reason we put an entry under the low, because if this is not dropping now, the likelihood it's not going to drop. It's going to go back up. So when you get the chance for an exit strategy, you use it. Now we have a bigger one. This would be more of a flat inside of this. So let's put this like a small flat inside here. Take this out now. The probability of this going down is still exits. I still think this could be a flat because we don't have anything to put this one with. So there's still a chance that this is a big flat, but this has a very big pullback here into the top. So we're not going to sell it. If this comes back here and go back there, then we will consider whether we want this sell, depending how deep they come back into this. If it stays at the top there, go up here, let it pull back, we'll buy it. If we start buying this to the upside, we'll probably have to find something else to put this with in the past. Because right now we're going with this flat. And if that's not the flat, then we got it wrong. We've got to look for a flat somewhere in here, maybe this one. We'd have to look for a flat somewhere in there. And then this would be upside, but it's not upside as yet. So we'll wait until it gets the pattern that says upside, and then we'll change it, the one we have right now. So right now it's a sell setup. Let's wait for it. We don't have it. We'll take this off because we don't have a sell setup on it. Right? And DAX, we're looking for a buy in the DAX. Well, it's still a buy. If you bought this, you can close this trade and put an entry above the top there. This is a perfect buy setup. We'll go with that. And that one should take you to above this top here. Let's see if we can get that spike there today. We have a 1, 2, 3. Let's see if we get a spike to the top there. So this still remains a buy. We'll put it as an active trade right now. That's an active buy setup. So those were all the trade setups we looked at yesterday. There were some more we looked at. I think we closed some of them this morning in our trading room, and we will relook at them. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at all the trades that we didn't look at previously. Dollar index. Let's start. Dollar index. Like I said, this is going to go up. It's up. It's making a flat here. We're getting a flat right now. I think we can all agree that that looks like a running flat, so it's probably still going to go up. We're going to get one more up. That means all the dollar index should go down one more, at least one more, and then we will see what happens from that point. Remember, we're in this bigger structure, and this structure would either do one of the two things. It's going to break this top, but it's going to try to go there, or it's going to break this top and try to come here. Which one is going to do? No idea. You don't need to know which one it's going to do right now. You need to follow what it's doing. That's the most important thing. Following what the chart is doing, right? It's not about deciding what it should do. And if you follow what it's going to do and it's not doing what you think it's going to do, get the hell out of it. That's simple. So right now, I think we'll be looking for a buy setup here. I'll put it like this. And if we're right about this, we're going to go one more up. So I'll put an entry order for a buy here. If it keeps going down, we need a flag before we sell. Silver. Nothing. It's still going sideways. And it seems like we're consolidating here. Let me take this off. First, it looks like it was a flat, but there's a consolidation going on here. And if you keep consolidating in this range here, it's likely going to drop here before they go back up. All right, see that consolidation? It drops. So if we get this consolidation, I'll put it on a 15 so you can see what I'm talking about. If that consolidation stays here, if this here, this piece, if this consolidation stays in this range, like this, then the chances are this one is going to drop to the bottom here. And maybe then go back up. So we can go for a sell. This would be a 1, 2, 3 to the top there. And then drop. So the sell is not a bad idea. You can put an entry order here for a sell. You'll have to keep a stop here, and it's a very short trade. I don't think they're going to go very far. We're going to try to break this low. So I'll assume that you could get a trade that would be like this, about like that. Break this low, put it to break even, comes here, look to take profit. Can it drop lower? Well, yes, they can, but pretty much it's consolidating. And if it consolidates like that, then, you know, they can probably go back up to the top there, create a flat, and then drop. Right, if it goes back there, we'll get a flat. We'll get a 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to drop. Right now, we only want this trade. See? So let's see if we get that. If we're lucky, they actually drop through the bottom, but I don't want to put your hopes up too high because I don't think that's going to happen right now. Can this be a buy that goes up? It can. We don't have any trade. We will change it if this goes higher. If this, for whatever reason, goes higher into this, we're going to take this sell off. We're going to wait for this to pull back here, complete whatever the hell they're doing at the top there, and then take off. All right. So right now, the way we're looking at is a sell setup. We don't have a buy setup in it as yet. So we'll put a sell here. Let's go. Gold, also a sell setup. Not a trade I would take. You notice I have some arrows there, but we're not going to take this because it doesn't have a far trade to go. I think even if this drop here, we have to go back up first to get this one as a running flat. To get ourselves a running flat there, we might come back down and go back up. It's a very nice sell setup, but it's going to be very short-lived. So if we have this sharp move, we have this move, and we have that move that are incomplete on the downside. You can take the trade if you want. You just have to be very, very good at getting out of it if it doesn't go. Because I don't think it's going to go very far. And once it do that, we'll get a running flat here. So if I have to trade and I have to sell this one or I have to sell the silver, I'll sell the silver and I'll leave the gold. That's simple. I have a choice. I either sell gold or sell silver. I have a clearer vision of what silver can do. Now, it doesn't matter which one you take because you don't know the outcome. And this is a general rule we have in my trading room, something you should learn. You should probably write this down if you never heard it before because this is something I always preach to my traders, something I came up with. And I always said, don't worry about the outcome. As a trader, your job is to worry about the process. The outcome will take care of itself. You do not know the outcome. No one knows the outcome. None of us does. And none of us will ever know the outcome. Take care of the process. Trading is a process. If you take care of the process, the outcome will take care of itself. So the process of this one is to get this flag and sell it to the bottom here. This is the outcome. I don't know if I'm going to get that outcome. But should it happen, following the process I'm using the trade, it will be a good trade. Should it not happen and there's a change in this structure in any way, in any given shape or form, if this thing is to come up to the top here, the process says take this off. I'll take it off. If it is to come here and tag me and stay here, the process says take it off. I'll take it off. And if you were following us yesterday, we showed you both of those possibilities, how we do them live. Because you saw the one where it went up and we closed the trade. I think that was in the Euro Pound. And you saw where the one where we tag you, but it stays there and we close the trade. That was on the Aussie dollar, that was on the Aussie Swiss, that was on the Aussie yen. I think there was about 5 trades that we closed that did not go. And I showed you the results of those trades this morning, that those would have been losses if you didn't follow the process. Now, which pattern and how you're going to trade them is something we're teaching in our trading course. There is a trading course starting on Monday. Allows me a chance to plug this in right now, right here. We have a live training course starting on Monday. It's going to be for 2 months. Yep, we don't have any time limit in our trading course because we're training you to be successful traders. Any one of you who would like to join, send me a Skype message. It's in the description of this video at the very top. You're going to see the Skype link. Click on it. If you don't have Skype, it will download Skype for you. If you have Skype, it will open Skype for you. Send me a message, Mangal457. And I'll give you the details of how you can join this course. If you can't afford to join the course, now you can join the installment program. And that will allow you to get access to these 2 live webinars we do right now. And, you know, if you stay in the live trading with us for a year, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to save yourself from losing your account. You'll pretty much not lose your account if you follow the rules we're going to give you. You will watch how we do it. You'll learn how to do it. And then when you finish paying, you will get access to the group, you will get the training, and you will get complimentary live access with us to trade with a group of successful traders for the rest of your life. You will be successful, and you will join them, and you will help someone else. That's the whole point. Now, here's the 2 things you need to know about complimentary live access. One is we want you to be here, because every single webinar I'm going to start with is going to be, do you have questions? which means whatever information I'm giving you, whatever method I'm using, whatever analysis we do, whatever trades we take, you have the right to question it. Every single one, every day, 5 times a day. You will have the right to see how it's done, see why it didn't work, see why it works, question everything we do. Because all my webinars start, do you have questions? And they end with, do you have any more questions? I want you to go out there now, go to YouTube, Google all the gurus you find out there. And if you find any one of them who's going to do this, 5 live sessions a day that start with questions, end with questions, and allow you to question everything they do. And give you complimentary access for life. I mean complimentary lifetime access. Which is, if you leave for a year, you can still come back. And you'll still get that access. And if you find one, send me a note. I'll give you a gift. There is none. There is no comparison to the group we have out there, that we have. I know it for a fact because I've checked it. None of the gurus out there will ever do that for you. There is no trading group to compare with the one we have and the way we do it. And guess what? It's fun. We had a lot of fun this morning. So let's move on just to show you. As soon as this gets a little higher, we're going to take this sell off and we're going to look for the buy, but we're not going to buy this one here. I hate the idea of buying this because we have a 1, 2, 3 here. So above this top, they might pull back here. And if they pull back here, now that gets a flat for upside. We'll buy it from the bottom here going up. We'll see if we get that structure. Let's wait a little. And this is how we do all our trades. We analyze them. We figure out what the trade is. We figure out if we won the trade. We figure out why we should take the trade. We figure out what could be the default, what could be wrong with that trade if it doesn't go. And we're going to miss a few trades. Even the ones we analyze, we're going to miss a few of them. And that is okay. It's better not to be in the trade than to be in the wrong side of the trade. And we will get a lot of good trades. Gold. See? Like I said, I'm not interested in the sell. The most likely thing is we're going to get the buy. You can't buy it above the top of a flat like that. But once it goes up to this level, and I think there's a likelihood they're going to do this, we're going to look for this sell. So I'm not really keen about buying that because buying above the top there is not the right thing to do. I do believe it's going to go up. I just don't know whether this is a flat. And selling here is not, well, the selling is a good idea, not a bad idea. Selling it here is not a bad idea. The only thing is, can you manage your way out when it starts to go back up? Because it will go back up. This sell here was a good idea. This one is not such a good idea because we have this sharp wave here. That means that when they come here, they're going to go back up. So if you want to sell and you can manage that trade on a very small move before it becomes, this is what I think it will do and go back up. But if you're lucky, it might go much more than that. So the sell might be a good idea if you want. I'm not going to put it on, but we'll come back and remind ourselves. I'll leave it there, so remind ourselves when we come back in the New York session what we thought it's going to do and what it actually did. Euro. Remember what I said yesterday about selling the euro here? First we had the sell, and when it tagged and it go there and come back, we close the trade. And I said we can't sell it here. Not because I don't think it's not going to go down. We do think it's going to go down. But we can't sell it here because we don't have a setup to sell. And if you don't have a setup, the most likely thing it can do is it can tag you here and go right back to the top. Which means wherever you have a stop, you'll be either here or either here. You'll be out of the trade. But if it's going to go down, I want a flag. I want some kind of a consolidation here and we'll sell. So if you sold it after this pullback or after this pullback, you got break even in the trade. Now we're going to take that out. And what we did is we put the end shorter for the buy here, which means if this is the takeoff, you're going to get the trade. It didn't take off, you're not in the trade. Take that out. What we have here, we're still in the sideways move. This is still your very first impulse. This is a move up. That's not the consolidation. That's not the core consolidation. So we've got this here, and we're getting something that should be possibly a flat here. This could become a flat, which means this could drop one more. Again, we have a sell setup here. The question, should you sell this? The way we look at patterns is that if you get this and you get this, there's no point selling this because this one is going to go back up. So instead of selling it, wait for it to drop, wait for a flag here, and then take this trade where you get an entry here and a stop here, and you're coming to break that top. That is a risk to reward trade. This one doesn't have a risk to reward. And it's pretty dangerous. Now, if we get an entry from the top here, let's say this comes here and it does this and make a flag here and we get this trade here, Yep, in New York session, we'll sell it to break the low, and now we put an entry here and a stop here, and this is your trade, and you get a risk to reward in that trade. We don't have that, so we'll wait. What are the chances that this, instead of going down, this was a small correction, and this one is trying to go back to retest this stop? Well, it will make a flag here in the New York session, and we'll go for that trade. So if we get a flag here from now to New York, and you join us in the New York session, we're going to put an entry here. We're going to go for that trade. We'll get a risk to reward trade. We're going to get this flat, and we're going to sell it, because this is going to happen. And then we're going to buy it. Now that's the simplest flat I've drawn. Most times the flats are not simple. I can go back and show you some of them. They're not simple, they're very complex, but that doesn't mean we don't trade them. Right, this is the flat. See how complex it is? We traded this down. We're trading this up. And I think we're going to get to this top, and there's a good chance we're going to break out of this structure and go straight up. See? This is an up move. This is the daily flat, and then you can continue to go up all the time. Now there's a rare chance where this actually makes this flat here, come back here, go there, break this top, make a flat here, go to the top there, and literally come back to the bottom here. Probably even go back up. Probably even come back down and then take off. And we get a flat like this. Now you have seen a structure like this, and you have seen a structure like this only. Both of those are possible structures. It doesn't matter which one it makes. If you have the knowledge of how this can behave, it doesn't matter which one it makes. You will trade this up. We're already trading inside of this. If you can trade inside of that, you can trade this. And 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 you can definitely trade the impulse to the upside. So come back to where we're trading, inside of the consolidation. Inside of an incomplete consolidation. Wait for a flag. Wait for this to make a flag, and if it makes a flag, we go to the top. If it's going to drop, we ignore the sell, unless we get a very good risk to reward trade. We ignore the sell, we wait for it to go down, and then on a 15 minutes, if we get a risk to reward trade to the downside, we'll take it. Don't try to sell this at the top here. You don't know that it's going to go down, right? Wait for the confirmation. Bam. Okay, now we're going to get one more down. Here's the thing. This one came pretty deep. And when it comes so deep, I think it's going to go tag this top, and then we'll get one more sell. After which we're going to get the upside. So yesterday when this was going on, I told you there's a good chance when it breaks down from this, we're going to get this sharp wave up. We're still going to get it. We just need one more down. So we will look for a sell setup. I don't know if any of my traders took the buy. It was probably a buy. We were expecting it to come and break this top. But there was much of a flag here for a buy. But even if it makes a small flag here, we'll just let it go break the top. We're going to look at this as a possible flag for downside. One more down and then upside. So we'll try to get a trade from here to go down this afternoon. Here's the thing. What if this is actually the low and this is just a deep pullback to go up? What if instead of going down, we're trying to go up? We're trying to do this. 1, 2, 3, and then go down back, making this the running flat. What if they're doing that? Possible, right? So how would you trade it? Well, you can't buy it at this point where it is. Because if you're going to buy it at this point, all it needs to do is tag this stop and drop. And you should be in the sell. You should not be in the buy. So what you're going to do is you're going to let it break the top. And if we make a flag here, now we're going to buy this one to go do that trade. All right, we're going to go for this piece. And then we're going to look for the sell setup after we've completed this one. And then we look for the sell setup and we're going to look for the buy. So right now, if this one wasn't that deep, I actually had a buy entry. I'll tell you, I had a buy entry above this top when it did this morning. I had an entry here to buy. When it was here and going up, and I thought, okay, well, this is going to break out. That would be an amazing trade to the upside, and this thing's going to go like a rocket, and good for me. That was the hope. That was the outcome that should have come if my trade was good in the process. And when it dropped and it came back here, I pulled the entry. Why? Because now we're at the bottom of this. And when we're at the bottom of this, I think we make flats rather than flags to the upside. So until this point, it was a buy. From this point, not so good. So this entry is off. Because right now, I just wanted to break the top and we look for the sell, or break the top, make a consolidation, we look for the buy. So although it's going up, I'll be looking for a sell setup when it breaks that top. Let's see. Let's see which one comes. Like I said, the outcome is not your problem. Don't try to control what the outcome, or trade because of what the outcome is going to be. You don't know it. And as the more traders get that thought process in their head that you're not trading for the outcome, you're trading for the process, the outcome will take care of itself. 99% of the traders out there are trading for a specific outcome. They're trading for the outcome, and when the outcome is not coming, they live in hopes and they trade in hopes that, oh, it's still going to go my way, because they don't have a process to exit until it gets to where their target was. And I've actually heard many gurus say, well, if it doesn't go to your target, it's going to go take you out. And I think, well, that's a weird thing to do, right? It's to say, well, hey, you have a chance to get out for break even here because it's not going, but don't worry about that. You have a stop loss. Just leave it. Let it go take you out in the stop loss. And I'm thinking, well, that doesn't make sense, right? Because that really doesn't make sense. So let's go. Aussie dropped, make a flag. We're getting a sell set up. We have an entry here for the sell. I showed you that this morning. It's coming pretty deep. If it goes back that deep, we're going to take this off. Because if it goes pretty deep into this, if it goes pretty deep into the top again, they'll come down here, but then it's going to be still inside of the consolidation because it's going to go back up. This will become a 1, 2, 3, and it's going to go back up. Can this be the one that actually go up? Well, no, not as yet. We don't have a buy setup in it as yet, right? A contracting flat, maybe. I don't buy the contracting flats at the bottom here. Let it break the top, make flags, and then we're going to buy. So if this is going to be the upside we were looking for here yesterday, then it has to break the top, make another flag here, and only then we're going to go with that trade. Because only then I'll consider that this is the low, this is the flag, this was a running flat, and we're going. For now, we're not going to do that. We're going to just leave it where it is. New Zealand, you already know what to do. Same thing. We'll wait and see what it does. It's actually, for now, we're going to treat this as a sell setup. You can actually put it here. If it goes back to the top, we'll reconsider that. Yen. Okay, see what I said, why I don't like to buy the yen here. It's just a big flat. I'll still treat this as possibly a big flat for upside. We'll look at this as a possible big flat here for one more up. So if you get a buy setup here, that's a good idea. If this goes here, make a flag. You can take this trade to get to the top there. For any sell setup, it has to drop more and start making corrections. Swiss. Yep. Let it come back, and then we're going to look for the buy setup. Let it come back here, and then we're going to see if we want the buy setup to go tag the top and then come down. So there's one more trade here. We're going to see if we can get it from the bottom here. CAD. Okay. It's coming down as I expected. Nothing new. We expect this to come here. And then we're going to put an entry above this top, and we're going to try to get it from here. Euros, I showed you that trade. It's already consolidating. Wait, even if this consolidation is going to drop, I don't think the sell here is a great idea because it might not go very far. It could be they're going to go out. Let me see if we broke the top on the bigger picture. Nope, we haven't broken the top, so no, it's more upside. I'm not going to go for the sellers yet. Not as yet until it proves, because we're still in this sideways move, so the sell is not a great idea there. We'll wait. EuroCAD. Yep, this sell is a good idea. It's still valid at that point. If it goes anywhere higher, we'll take it off. Euro New Zealand. It's kind of going to come down, but I don't think we want this sell. This one should come down. You might want to consider if you want that sell. It's going to come down here. And then it's going to go back up there and then come back here. And then we'll probably get that one to the outside. So there, it's a pretty small trade if you want. Where would you take the trade if you're going to go for it? There's a flat here. I think we can all see that there's a possible flat here. Probably wait for a small flag. Let it come here, make a small flag. They normally do that. Make a small flag and give you this trade with a stop here and go for this one. Right, it's going to drop one and then go back up. We're going to get this running flat. It's going to drop again, and then there's a possibility for upside. So if you have the skill levels to do that, those are trade setups. Euro yen, I'm going for the easy ones. Euro yen, take this off. We've got a big flat forming here right now. Use this as a bigger flat. That should be upside. That should be one more upside. You got one, two, three, came back to the top. It's coming down here, and then it's one upside. That's a buy setup. We'll wait for that. If you want to buy, you have to get an entry above the top or get it from the bottom going. Euro Swiss. Okay, so this one was the one yesterday. We were looking for a sell here. And then we go to the top, we took it off. I told you it's going to come back here. We're going to make a flat. And then we would expect this to go one more up before it comes down. So it came here. It's kind of make a smaller flag, drop lower, it's going up. Can we still look at this as a flat? I still think we'll go with an expanding flat for now. I'll still go with an expanding flat for now. And the chances are we're going to go break that top. We're going to go break this top here. Just about that much. Just come back to about breaking that top and then downside. So can we buy it? If we're going to go break the top first and then come down, can we buy it? Well, if we get a flag, we can do that. Wait for this to give you a flag somewhere. Wait for this here to make a flag somewhere here. And if we confirm that flag, we'll go there and then we'll look for a sell down. So we will go for the buy here if we get the flag. Why you want the flag? Who says this can't drop here? Well, if it's going to drop there, the question is, this is the top and this is a sharp move that we don't have anything for. So because of that, if we had another sharp move here, I'll go with a running flat here, but we don't. So even if this is going to drop, I can't sell it this yet. But if I think it's going to drop through the bottom and come here, two things are going to happen. When they come down, they'll make a flag. And we'll sell the flag now because we'd assume that this is just a big correction. This is going to go down. As of now, we have to go with the upside. We don't have a sell setup, so we're going to go with the upside. Europong, sell setup. It went a little higher, no problem. I still think that's a flat for downside. We're already in the sell. We already have the insurer for the sell there. Pangos, still a sell. Good sell, by the way. Let's see how low this go. Remember the possibility of the running flat. I already showed you Pang New Zealand. Let's go really quick. Okay, we're making a flag here. Let's see. Should we go down much more? It looks like they're trying to go down from this point. But we don't have a complete flat. We have a flat in here. We have this small one. Let this come back here and go back up, and then we'll go with this one. And then we'll take the trade. Because the downside is very, very short. So let this go there, come back here, and then we're going to go with the trade. Right? Then we're going to go with this. Pang Yen. Sell setup. You got a sell setup here. You got a perfect sell setup for the downside. Sorry, I'm looking for the other one. Yeah, that one. I think we got a sell setup. This was a sell setup yesterday for those of you who took that trade. Now you're getting a sell setup here. You can put an entry under the low. That's one option. Second option, wait for it to make a flag. Because this is a bigger one. See, this was a flag. This is a flat. Wait for it to make a flag and then you can go with the trade. That's a good sell. There's at least one more move down. If we get this move here, you could get one more drop and then the upside. So the trade is worth going for. But that is a sell. We're waiting for a flag on this one to make a sell. It's not ready as yet. We're waiting for a sell but a flag. Pound Swiss, you have a sell setup. We've got a flat here, just like this flat. So the sell was there yesterday. You put the entry, there you go. We moved it from there to here. Now you can look for this sell. If it makes a flag here earlier, we're going to take this flag. So that will be later in the New York session or between now and in New York. If it makes a flag, we'll sell that. This is an active sell, by the way. You can put this as an active sell. Pound CAD. We do have one more drop. Looks like this is going to make one more drop here. You can go for the sell. It's very short term, but we can take it. Put an entry over there. If it drops, it should drop something like this. Break this low. Come a little lower here. And then we'll look for the upside. So this looks like a trade we can go for. We'll put that as a sell too. Aussie CAD. We're getting a flat here. I'm not sure whether this is the low for upside or whether this is a big expanding flat. So we'll stay out of it for now. Both of those are possible in the bigger structure. When you come to the bigger structure here, remember we broke this low. So if this is going to go back up, this is the point from where they can go back up all the way to the top there after breaking the low, right? We'll relook at what this piece, how that piece fits in the pattern. If we're just making a deeper correction, it's also possible, but this is not the pattern we will buy into. That is a possible running or expanding flat right now. So the only way we're going to get this is let this go above the top here and then make a flag here before we buy. For the downside, any flag here will sell for one more like this. Make a flag like that and we'll sell it for one more down. So right now we wait for this trade. There's no setup. Aussie Swiss. Yep, we're in this buy. You should be tagged on the buy already. It's not going as fast as we'd like it to go, so you know the rules is if it doesn't go in the next 2 hours, we'll close the trade. It's a valid trade for now, but if it doesn't go, if they just keep doing this, close the trade, because then we're going to drop. This will become a running flat for downside. As of now, it's valid. So go back to the 1 hour. That's just the first hour. No need to worry. Aussie yen. Sell setup. Let it go up a little more and then look for the sell. I explained this already. Aussie New Zealand. Yeah, you can look for a sell setup here. It might be part of a bigger flat, but you can look for a sell setup. If this goes higher, we'll take it off. Because this is the sharp move up, right? But remember, this was a 1, 2, 3. So if we're looking at this as a possible expanding flat, this sell would make sense. If you think this is not an expanding flat, then this one is making a flat of its own. It will come there, come back here, and then go up. So if it comes to the top here and then go back down, we'll take off the sell and we'll look for the buy. Right? All of that is a consolidation within this structure. See? Within the bigger structure. It's a consolidation within this bigger structure. So I think this can go a lot more down, which means the sell is not a bad idea. Go for this sell and we'll see where this takes us. Put an entry for a sell. And if it goes higher, we'll take it off. So this would be a sell setup. New Zealand CAD. You've got yourself a sell setup here. So yes, this is not the trade. Actually, this was for this one. This here was for this one, this flag here. This little flag here, right? If this goes up to the top there that much high, even if you stay with it and it come here, it take you 1, 2, 3, 4, close it. If you didn't close it, no problem. I'll still show you. Your stop should be above the top if you're staying with this. It seems like we've got an expanding flat forming here. So your entry would have to go under the low. But if you're still in the trade, anytime this make a move down, close the trade. Looks like this could be an expanding flat that might come drop here and then go back up. It will eventually go back up, but this could give you one more down. Now, normally we will not sell that. And I think we discussed that in our trading room this morning. We're not going to sell this because we already broke this low and we're expecting this to go back up. So instead of sell it, let it drop. Instead of selling that, what you would do is you would let it drop. You would let this drop, wait for a reversal, wait for a flag, and start buying it back to the top. We're going to look for a possible running flat here before this goes down. So this sell is off. But if you sold it, just wait for a little pullback, close the trade. New Zealand yen, you're getting a sell set up, at least one more drop. We did this yesterday. You got one more drop here and then probably the equivalent of this. We're looking for something similar to this. Yeah, just about one more drop here. If you want to take the trade, it could be bigger than that. You can put an entry over here and wait for this to drop. It could be bigger, and I'll tell you why it could be bigger, because if we go with this as a contracting flat, and this is the top, this could drop quite a lot. If we don't, and we think that this is the flat, that this piece here is the flat, and all of this is correction, then it might just do one like this and then go back up. The question, can you take break even there? If you can take break even, it's a good trade, because the possibility of it going lower. If you can't get out for break even, then don't take the trade. So we'll put it as an aggressive sell with intentions that, well, you can get out for break even. We'll show you how to manage your way out. New Zealand CAD. New Zealand Swiss, sorry. We're also the bottom here. Just like the New Zealand CAD, we broke the low. Now, can it go one more lower? Yes. Can probably go lower. But in this move here, I wouldn't be selling at the bottom here. I'd just let it drop. I would just let this drop, and then we'd be looking for the buy setup, right? It broke the top on it. It's a running flat on the New Zealand yen. If it broke the top, I'm not sure which top you're looking for in the New Zealand yen. We're looking for this one. If you're talking about this breaking the top, that's just a running flat. It's possible running flat if you're looking for that. I'm not sure which. Right? So breaking the top here doesn't mean anything. All you're looking for is a running flat. Okay, come back to New Zealand Swiss. We broke the low, and there's a possibility we're looking for a flat here. Right, we're in this structure. So we've got this down, we've got that up, we've got this up, we've got this down. There's a good chance we're coming back for this here. Right? Even if this is the low and we're going back for this one, then we're going to go back higher to the top there. So let's look for the buy. From the bottom there, I'm looking for the buy setup. We don't have a buy setup. So let's see, do we have a flag here? Yep, there's a possibility we'll be looking for a buy already, because we could make an argument that this was the flat. This is the down move. That is the reversal. This is the flat. As long as it stays in that range, I'll be buying it. Now I'm in the 15 minutes. So it has to stay in this range. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm going to put a line here. And I'm going to put a line here. That's not a buy setup. I want to see this drop sharply out of this piece, come back to this level, tag it, or this work its way up to the top here, break that top, then do this, and then go. That will take about an hour. So within an hour, if this happened, I'll get an entry order for the upside. Now this is a very, very, how are you going to put it? You have to be very careful with trades like this in the 15 minutes, right? Because you see, this could be a big expanding consolidation for downside. So unless you can manage trades like these, right, and understand how it's going to change when it's trading structurally, don't take it. You shouldn't be taking any trade I tell you to take. I'm just showing you how I trade, basically, right? As the rule. CAD, yep, it's coming down. It's a big flat. We'll just leave it. That's just a big consolidation. We'll look for the buy setup. It's not dropping as yet. There's no impulse in that. CAD Swiss. Okay, if you sold it, close it. Call it break even. It didn't go anywhere. And it's still not going anywhere. It's probably going to go back up from here. I think there's a good chance we're going to go back up from there. Because this seems to be making a flat here. This piece seems to be making a flat here. If it goes from here, it's good. If it comes lower, it's going to go back up, make a flat, and then we're going to drop one more before we go. So don't buy it as yet. Wait, let's see when it starts to go up, from where it go up, and then we'll decide if we want to buy. Okay, this would eventually go back up one more. Swiss yen. We sold it yesterday. We closed it. You remember we sold this flat. We closed it. Call it a break even. It went up. You made one. You get 1, 2, 3. You come back here. Now you get this flat. And you're going to go back one more up. Take this out. This is the range, right? I showed you this already. So it came down. I'm looking at this as the flat now. So we have to go back up one more for this one, right? This one was a small flat here. We have to go back one more up for this. And then we have to come down one more for this. Well, most likely what I think it's going to do. So right now, this is what I think that pattern is going to do. And when it does that, we're going to get this flat for upside. Now the question is, can we get buy this and can we sell that? If we get setups, we'll take them. If we don't get setups, we'll start buying from here to the upside. One more upside. And that's it. Just one more up and then we're going to call it off. We already showed that one. Let me show US oil. I think we showed this already too. It didn't make that up move, not the way I like it to make it, but they make it. So we're going to take all of this off now. And we're going to relook at the structure because we're at the top. We broke the low. So we broke this low. We were expecting running flat. That should be more than enough for running flat. Can we sell it? Yep, I think some of my traders are already in this trade from this morning in the trading room. If you guys took it, it's still valid. I think you can get another entry in. It just made a little small flag here, so what I'll say you do is, if you're in the trade already, it's okay, but let it come a little more and either make another flag or go back up like this for a running flat, and then go for the sell. So I'm gonna put the running flat on, come a little more here, go back for that running flat like this, and then we would look for the sell from the top there coming down, if we can get that trade. All right, this one should come pretty much to the bottom, because we were assuming that's the flat. So if you were with me yesterday, remember I said we were expecting this to go back there. If you can get the buy setup, take it. If you can't, now we look for a sell setup. If you're already in that trade, just stay with it. If you're not in it, don't put it on now. Wait for the running flat or wait for a flag and then sell. Okay? Good. I think we're cool with that now. Let's go. S&P 500. This would be a break even. If you sold that, that would be a break even. Actually, it went up and it came down and it went up and it's making a flat here now. So when you get a flat there, we'd look for a buy. This makes a flat here. We would look for a buy setup above the top. Is it complete? I think no. We're gonna get this coming down here. We should see it go back up. We should see it come back down. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Probably go back up, probably come back down and then go. So be careful with tag in there. Try to get it from the bottom here going up. But it's going to be a buy setup. An incomplete trade right now. Pattern is incomplete. We're looking for a buy setup. Let's see how it plays out, and then we're buying it to break the stop. Yes, 30. This is the same thing. You're getting a lot of pieces. This one should come back here, and probably we're going to stay here for a while before we go up. But this would be more of a 1, 2, 3 correction, 1, 2, 3, and downside. This doesn't have a big one to the upside, especially the way it's consolidating here. And if you get so much consolidation at the bottom here, you're likely going to drop. So we'll see. We'll come back to all of them. We'll look at every one of them, and then we'll decide. This one was the equivalent of this from the top there, and I think we literally got the flat there. So we'll see how this behaves. It's still not ready for a trade. And that's that. Yeah, kind of came down, make this flat, go up, and it's making another flat. So let's wait. That's a buy setup. If it makes another flat here, it's a buy setup. You want this to go up like this, come back here, and then we're going to look for a trade to the upside. We didn't get the downside, so we look for a trade to upside. I think we would relook at this entire piece here when that happens. I'm going to put a single line across it, and then we're going to relook at that whole structure for the patterns within it to see which pattern we got right and which one we missed. I think we might eventually put this one here. I don't really like that one. We'll put it because this is literally looking upside right now. So we'll see. Nifty. Wait for flags buy. You're getting flags. You're getting consolidation here. Wait for it to make a bigger consolidation. Go for the buy. Go in the 1 hour and wait for a 1 hour consolidation. And then go for the buy. That's what I would do. DAX. Buy setup. This is easy. It's a no-brainer. We're going for this one, and that's your buy setup. That's the same thing. Tesla. Okay, you should have this entry order for the sell. We don't have a buy setup as yet. We'll come back to this for the setup. Right, if it's going to be a buy setup, we'll have to get a flag. If they consolidate here, we'll go with a buy. If this consolidates here, we'll go with a buy. Bitcoin. So we came down, we broke the low, and we're going back up. If you get a flag here, this could be a buy from inside the structure. But better to wait for the breakout. Ethereum, same thing. Wait for the breakout. We broke the low yesterday. I thought we were going to come break the low and then go back up. It's going back up. Let's see if it goes. XRP, drop lower. Right? We expected this to drop lower. Well, now that it's at the bottom here, this is what you look for. Now that we came back to the bottom here, this becomes more like a 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3. If they want to go back up, it could actually go back up from here. This could go back up from here because now that you have a 1, 2, 3, it could go back up and make a new high. So when it comes here, if we get a flag, we'll buy it. If it doesn't go make flag, it stay here, we'll sell. All right, that means, or we'll just leave it to drop somewhere. ADA, so LTC. Yeah, you could go with this one. This came down a little more, but it's probably going to make a spike to the top there. They could also come back here. We ignore the sell. Let them come back here, and then we look for the buy. And ADA. Okay, this one dropped a little more, but it's pulling back now. So take this off. This is useless. You can put it like this probably if you want. And could we possibly be looking at this as a running flat? Yeah, why not? That could possibly be a running flat. 1, 2, 3. If you take this out, right? Possibly look at that as a running flat. So what would be the buy setup if that's a running flat? Take this out. Wait for this to prove it's a running flat. Let this go up, make a flag, and then we're going to take that flag to the upside. So if it proves a running flat and it makes a flag, we're going to go for the trade to the upside. This was the low, so I wouldn't be surprised if this takes off. And it could take off pretty big. That could be a big time takeoff. Because if you take off from there, you're definitely coming to break this top, and then we might as well get back to that top. Yep, why not? It could go pretty high. So we'll see. This one looks good. Go back to the 1 hour and wait for the flag. Wait for a flag here for the buy. Okay, I think I'm going to stop at that one. You tell me if you want any one of them more. There were some questions, so let's see how quick we can take some questions and then we can go. Okay, let's see. Bank Nifty, okay, we just did that. We went through all the index. DXY is positioned for an uptrend at least. Let's see. I'm not sure where you want the uptrend to go. Position an uptrend to where? 105. That's not a trend. That's a consolidation, my friend. See, we have all of this here. Watch the first webinar I did. That's a consolidation. A trend is this will be a trend. This is the consolidation. So, would it go to that top there at this one, 104, 105? I don't know. I just explained to you it could literally drop back to this bottom. Look back at the webinars. If this is your first time in, look back at the webinar and those. I like and you'll get it because it's just in a big consolidation and we don't have a pattern on the dailies yet. Which means now it's making a pattern. Because it's now making a pattern, we can be clear which direction it will make the first tree. And then when it makes the first tree, then we're going to look at the rest. I see Euro US is an ABC move down with an ABC completed. You have to tell me what time frame you're looking for. So when you said you see it as an ABC down with an ABC completed, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour, 4 hours. This is what I have on the 4 hours. I think this is going to consolidate here and go. On the 1 hour, we have one sharp move, one move, one move. We don't have anything. It could go back up. This could make a flag and go back up. This could actually drop, break the low. On the 15, we don't have a trade. Right? We don't have a trade. The only way we get a trade is if this actually makes a flag here now and we'll buy it. Or if it drops here and we consider if we want to sell it here for the one more down before it goes up. Since I like the upside, I'll wait for a flag for the buy. I don't care about the ABC, WXYZ, and that's just relative naming. It doesn't make sense. Right? It's just for you to remember where you are on any given time frame. I memorize a chart. I literally could take out that chart and draw it on all time frame for you, including the yearly to the 15 minutes. So it's useless to me to label them. I don't label. Most of the labeling are they just confuse the chart more. Can we see the continuation to 10820 close the complete wave 1? I don't have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 as well. That's irrelevant to me. Can we see the continuation to 108? Well, once we complete this pattern, 108, you can do that. Once you complete this pattern here, you're going to go up. How high? You probably even go much higher than you want it to go. And from that point, we're going to look for the development of the pattern. Would the pattern come back down to the bottom? Would this complete this, do this, go here, come to the top there and come back here? Is that a possibility? Yes, it is. Would it break through the top and go? Yes, that's a possibility. See, your question is from the point of view of an Elliot waver. And I get it. But we don't look at the way we look at wave analysis is much simpler. Don't confuse it. Simple. And the rule is simple. Rule number one, never put where you expect, never put the price, because patterns don't move to any specific price. Don't put specific price. That will limit you. That will limit your ability to understand what the chart is doing. Right? Because if you put specific price, you're assuming that the chart is going to stop at that price. And there's nothing in the chart that says it has to stop at any given specific price, no matter what pattern it's making. Work with structure. So what you would see me do is I don't put price, I put structure. I get this structure. This is my structure. See? See that? That's a structure. So I'm going to go through structure by structure for you. See that? So if you go back and look at my webinar when we were coming down here, I said, okay, there's a good chance we did 1, 2, 3. We're going to come down, we're going to break this low, and then we're going to go back up. Go back and look at the webinars. Just click the date somewhere here and you'll see the webinar. We're coming to break that low and then we're going to go back. I don't know where this will stop. And I don't care. I'm not putting a price as where it's going to stop. As long as we're going down and we have sell setups, you're going to go for it. And when we turn and we start to get buy setups, great. Also, what I don't know is what this pattern would look like. And it's irrelevant. You don't have to know that. The thing about Elliot wavers is they want to know what the pattern is. They're drawing patterns to tell you what it's going to look like. And that's not how the market moves. So I'm giving you a few versions of what we're looking for. Once this consolidates here, it's going to go to the top. It's going to break this top. That's almost very likely to happen. When it breaks that top, it could come back here. It could go back there. It could come back here and then take off like a rocket. And all of that would be a very nice consolidation. That's one option. The second option is this just takes off like a rocket and all you get is 1, 2, 3, which is rare. You hardly find a big structure with just 1, 2, 3 in it. It will have more patterns in it. This could get even worse than that. It does not break this top and this just tag this top here and start to come back down like this. And if we get this as a flat, then we're going to go back up like this. We're going to come back down here and then we're going to take off. And that's only 3 possibilities. So don't put price areas where they have to go to. Don't label it. Don't waste time behind that. Follow the pattern. Let the chart lead you. Let the chart tell you what pattern you're seeing. Look for the immediate trade. Now, although I have all of that there, that has nothing to do with my trading. That has to do with the analysis of what I think it can do. For my trading, the most important thing right now is this one. This is the most important thing for my trading because I'm trading within that range. See, life has just become so simple. All I need to do is get a trade within that range because that's the first impulse. Everything else in there is consolidating. This was a buy. Sorry. This was a buy. This was a buy. This was a buy. I would have bought this yesterday had it gone. Now that it came back deep like this, if it makes a flag here, I'll buy it to go back and break this top. If it coming back down, I would ignore this sell because the sell will come here and then I'm looking for the buy. Because if I get this one and I get this one, I must get that one. And when I get this one, I'll be looking for a sell to come back to make this pattern complete. Which price each one of these are going to go to, I don't know. I'm not putting a price. I'll stay with the trade as long as it goes. If it doesn't go, I'll get the hell out of the trade. We sold this yesterday and we closed it because it wasn't going, and that's the right thing to do. Because 4 out of the 5 trades we closed like that yesterday would have been losses. If you're following yesterday's webinar, if you didn't watch it, 4 out of the 5 trades that we closed because they didn't go would have been losses had I stayed in them, and only 1 of them would have made me profit. Not worth it. Let the 1 go, close the 4 that would have been losses, and re-enter those trades if you get another setup. That's the whole point. Aussie would have been a loss. Aussie Swiss would have been a loss. Aussie Yen would have been a loss. I think there were two more other ones. I can't remember which one. I think the Euro Pound would have been a loss. There are a number of, if you haven't closed, no, the Euro Pound didn't tag. The Euro Pound, we just closed it because it preferred tag. But there were a number of trades we closed yesterday that didn't go. And we closed them for positive or very small losses. That would have been a full loss on your account had you not closed them. And that's the most important thing you should look at. If you're in here and only thinking about how much winning trades we make, which we made yesterday, because the Pong Aus was a good winning trade. I think there were one or two more winning. But if you're only looking for winning trades and not following the process of how we manage bad trades, you're wasting your time. You literally missed everything we're doing in here. Don't worry with the winning trades. They'll take care of themselves. Worry with how we manage trades that don't go. That is what you should be learning from this lesson, from these webinars. How do they manage trades that don't go their way? That is what you need to get. If you get that done, then you'll be pretty good. Good trades take care of themselves. You don't have to do anything. They'll go and you just take profit. Hope everyone is making lots of money and enjoying their lives to be the fullest with those you cherish. Well, that's the hope for all of us. And I hope you two are making a lot. Right now I'm here not to make a lot of money, here, but to show you the process of how you can do that. Right? Teaching you to catch a fish. Okay, a lot of thank you. Let's go. What was it? So they are in a correcting flag. Can you count the waves? We don't count waves, Victor. Thank you. I just explained that. I now saw your question. I don't waste time counting waves. Was there a buy setup on the bit in 15 minutes? Yeah, probably inside of the correction in the 15 minute there. If you were following what I said yesterday, once it breaks the low and starts to come back up, you would look for the buy setup. So once this broke this low, remember what I said yesterday, it's going to come and break the low. It's going to come and break the low. And then once it goes back up and give you this 15 minutes flag, if you want to buy it, that was a buy setup there. Good job, by the way. Amazing stuff. You saw something. You learned something. That was a buy setup if you follow it. And then when it comes to the top here again, it either will break out or it'll go back down. You can't lose on that, right? That's good. Was there? Yep. Pong Yen and gold start some moves. Okay, we can take a look at those quite very quick to see what moves they start. So let's go Pong Yen. Okay, it's coming down, but still not there as yet. Your entry should be under. And gold. Okay, it's kind of going up, so if it keeps going up, it will probably get to this top, and then we'd look for the sell this afternoon. If gold come back to this top, what I'm looking for is a possible running flat. Let me put it. I'm looking for this to be a running flat. I'm not looking for the sell now. So if this comes back to the top here, we'll look for that sell down. Right? If it doesn't break down, but instead come back up, we'll look for the sell. I count waves for 1 2 hour long and skip only so. No, we're not counting waves. I'm showing you patterns. If I count waves, then I'll have 1 2 3 4 5. On any of the given charts that I'm showing you, for like in Euro, I spend about 10-15 minutes showing you patterns on it. If you miss that point, my friend, you missed a lot in the webinar, and you come to all of my webinar. I know that you support my videos and so on. You should know that by now. We don't count waves. I even said it. Don't count the waves. Don't waste time counting. What you're counting is patterns. What patterns you know, and the waves that you have, what patterns they're likely going to create. So I will end this webinar with that, with the answer to that question. Forget about everything you know about wave analysis. Forget about Elliot wave. Forget about everything you know. Here's what I want you to think of. This is a chart on a stock, on a crypto, on a currency, whatever you want it to be. It kind of made a move up like this. And then it starts to do this. Charts don't normally do this, but you open your imagination, widen your mind a little, and imagine that the chart does this. And after it does that, it actually did this. Right? So the next day, you go and you look in the past, and you see the chart do this. And we are in the room today, and the very same chart does this. And I'm saying to you, you know what? I think we should sell it here and put a stop here, because I think it's going to come here. You want to tell me what are the probabilities going to do that? Maybe once in a while, instead of coming here, it will probably just do this. Let's say 10% of the time it will do this, and 80% or 90% of the time it will do this. What are the chances that when you see this, you will put an order here with a stop here to say, if it does this, I'm in it, and if it does this, I'll just close the trade? That's wave analysis. In short, what you're doing is you're studying the charts in the past, and you're trying to figure out what patterns it's going to make and how those patterns behave. Now, if you're a doctor and you do a cardiogram, you would start to see it looking like this, right? But then at some point, you're going to see this. And this is the abnormal part on the chart. So you would have to ask your question, why did the heartbeat show me this on the chart instead of what it normally shows, which is this is normal, this is abnormal. And if you're a research doctor who does a lot of studies and things, you'll figure out that there's something wrong in the heart that's creating this, and you'll go find out what exactly is wrong. Maybe after the patient died, you're going to cut him and figure, oh, well, there was a problem with one of the left side or the right side of the aorta or something is giving you a problem, and that creates this. And then you're going to look at all your future patients, and you're going to go back and do digging in hearts of people who died and see if they had this effect. And you're going to see this in the future, and you're going to know exactly how to cure your patient without cutting him open, because you're seeing a pattern. It's called a known pattern, a known behavior. If you're a seismologist and you study earthquake, and you want to know when an earthquake is going to come, you're going to start to see certain kind of movements on the chart from a normal to this. And you're going to figure out that when you see that, it means there's an increase in activity under the surface of the earth that's creating a vibration to that level that is telling us there's an earthquake coming or there's a volcano coming. Each one will have its distinctive pattern. So you can warn people that sometime soon in the future, in the very, very near future, one of this is going to happen, because that's a known pattern. You would have gone back and look at the past charts and see how many times that happened, how long it takes for this to happen, and how often you actually had an earthquake. It's no different from reading the charts of a stock market, of a crypto, or of that. You go back and you look for known patterns. Forget about counting and all of that. Go back and look for known patterns. And I specifically put a pattern that doesn't exist, so that you can widen your thoughts of patterns, specific patterns, and how they behave. And if you see one of that in the future, you're going to ask yourself, what are the chances that the ones I saw is going to do exactly like the ones I previously saw? So if you come back in here and you look at my charts, you're going to see a lot of lines and patterns. Right? See this pattern? Every time I see this and I see this, I know I'm getting one of that. When I saw this here in the opposite direction, I know I'm getting one of that. When I see it here, I know I'm getting one of that. When I see this one, I know I'm getting one of this. But guess what happens? Stop short. Right? Once in a while, it will not go exactly the way you want it to go. So you can come back here where you are right now. You're going to say, well, what if I see this? I see this down, and then I see this flat. Can I get this? And then the answer will be, well, yes, possible, but not if you have this in front of it. Because when I had this in front of all of this, I knew that when I come back to the bottom here, I will have to get that one up. So I showed you the simplest possible way of understanding it. Now this what I'm showing here is a complex way of understanding why this will not do this, but instead might stop here and go back up for this one, and then do that. Because now what you're doing is you're taking those patterns and you're breaking them up into pieces. and you're studying their internal characteristics, each one of them. And you're trying to figure out, if I see this type of pattern, what would it do? And if I see this type of pattern, what would it do? And how many types of variation of each pattern that creates volcano, or creates earthquake, or creates what level of earthquake. That's all there is to it. That's what wave analysis is about. And that is what I did with wave analysis. Changing Elliot wave from the 1, 2, 3 ABC, where traders are just going crazy labeling charts, making it colorful and beautiful, not even understanding what they're actually doing themselves. Most of them, and I know a lot of Elliot wavers who color charts. One of them was actually a guy I trade. He left and he became an Elliot waver, and he colored his charts all kinds of fancy and he has no idea what he's doing. Not to bash the guy, but to tell you that I know he has no idea what the hell he's doing. He just likes to color the charts with wave all over the place, with numbers and letters, because it looks nice. I want you to have the depth of this analysis. What it is really you're looking for. How do you understand these patterns that well? And even if you can draw the patterns or understand them and figure out them and forecast them properly as to what it's going to do, how do you take advantage of it and trade it? See? That's the depth of wave analysis. It's not how you count the waves. It's not how you color your charts. It's not how much lines you have in your charts. It's understanding the depth of each pattern and how each pattern characteristically behaves. What's the internal characteristic of it? How it looks. How it should look in the variations. And then, if there is a chance for you to take advantage of it, how are you going to do that using a good strategy? That's all. And what if it doesn't go your way, the way you expect it to go, like this one, for example? What if you get this perfect impulse and that perfect flat there, but it doesn't go like this? Instead, it stops short here. What do you do? That's trade management. Because once in a while, the weather guy is going to tell you tomorrow you're going to have a very strong hurricane, and you come out tomorrow and there's bright sunshine and no hurricane. And you wonder, what the hell did he go? What's wrong with him? Nothing wrong with him. There was a change in the pattern overnight before he could give you the next forecast. From the last time he made the forecast and now there is a change in the pattern. The wind turned the opposite direction. Something went differently. And it will happen in nature. That will happen. In nature, everything doesn't happen identically alike. There are changes in them. And you have to be prepared to say, well, okay, this pattern is not going the way the rest of them went. The 80% of them went. This is one of the 20%. So I need to get the hell out of this one, which is very lucky. You can notice you would have got out there for positive. And just wait for the next one. I hope that helped you. I hope that helped all of you. Now, once you understand that concept, you're going to be good. So I want to thank you guys for coming. Remind you that we're going to be starting a training course next Monday that will train you to understand exactly that concept and the depth of it. If you would like to join us, you're welcome. Send me a Skype message and I'll send you the details. I would like to see all of you this afternoon, and bring a friend along. You can show him the end of this video. That would be more important than the whole video. So you'll understand what he's going to get when he joins us. Take care, trade with care. See all of you this afternoon. Thanks for coming. Bye.